of all, thank you so much for having me on. I am super excited. It feels good to be on the opposite side of the camera. So I am Simply Bree. I go by the name Simply Bree. I am located in Atlanta, Georgia, but I am originally from Connecticut. I am the CEO slash founder of the He Said What Network, which is a podcast network where we host six different shows. So we literally have a show live every day of the week except for Friday. So within the network, our motto, what we're trying to do is bridge the gap in communication between men and women. So with that, I enjoy coming onto other platforms and having discussions around communication, relationships, dating. I myself I'm attempting to date. As I stated, I am in Atlanta. So I am attempting to date, and we'll jump more into that later. But overall, I am just a ball of fun. I am a free spirited woman who finds fun in going to sports bars and doing field research and getting to know other people. So, yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
I love that. And I love how, yeah, I go to this location simply for research. I love it. So,
Yes.
you know, and man, and ladies and gentlemen, we're not going to dive too deep into this, right? But right before we went live, we found out something about each other that was like a whole nother
Yes.
world that we will do on our other podcast someday that you guys aren't ready for in this section. But I love that. And when we once we get into this, I'm going to hit on something that I think I don't call it controversial because it's a simple thing to me, right? But in
Mhm.
relationships, how you say you want to bridge that gap, one of the
Yes.
biggest things that I think people have a misunderstanding on, right? When you ask someone what's one of the most important things in a relationship, and everybody says communication, right? Communication, that's very important. I believe it is. I believe it's high up there, but I don't believe it's the most important thing.
Mm.
I say that understanding is the absolute biggest thing because you can communicate all day with someone. You can tell them your needs, you can tell them what you want, but if they don't understand why it's important or how they need to adjust something, then it just you're
What are
just
you
telling,
doing?
right? You're just talking, right? So, and then you're in ATL, you're in Atlanta with like
Yes.
16 lanes in each highway, so
Right.
so
And there's
love
still
should be
traffic.
flowing, right? Love should be flowing. And do you think, let's just go ahead and start getting into it. And again, ladies and gentlemen, while you're here, if you do have questions, go ahead and throw them inside the comment. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe button, all that good
Yes.
stuff right there. But go ahead and throw them in the comments and we'll get to them, right? But let me ask you this. Do you think that there is, first let me ask you, have you lived other places as well besides just kind of Atlanta or mainly the East Coast, South down there?
More so just the East Coast. Like I said, I'm from Connecticut. I've lived in North Carolina. I lived in Miami.
Okay.
And so, yeah.
Gotcha. And I was going to ask is that because I was going to say, do you think that there is like a difference in the areas of dating when you're in a certain city, a certain type of state? I see those eyes going there. So, okay, okay. Let us know. What do you feel on that?
So this has actually been the hardest for me. This location, Atlanta, has been the hardest for me when it comes to dating. And I feel like it's because it's a multitude of things. But number one, there's so many options. There's so many options. There's low expectations when it comes to how a guy is to interact or how a guy is to present himself. That at this point, you can have Joe Schmo off the street come at you any old type of way and it's acceptable. I feel like a lot of women are settling. A lot of women are becoming okay being the other woman, the side piece, the sneaky link, whatever other names they got for them. They're
Mm,
okay with it because they don't want to be alone. They want
yeah.
a piece of a man. So even if it's somebody else's man, as long as he don't bring the drama over here, as long as he's paying the bills and taking care of me and breaking me off, I'm okay, where that's not the mentality that you really want to have. So I think a lot of women are settling, and because there are so many women to men, the men are like kids in a candy store. They don't have to work hard to get a woman or to date. If anything, women are coming to them, women are approaching them. So why should they work hard? Why should they put forth effort? It is I'm going to say it's horrible down here, but at the same time there are still a lot of great men and women down here in the dating pool. This has just been the most challenging for me, honestly.
Wow, that is so interesting to hear it coming from that perspective. And like, I've been out of the dating game, but married for going on. We've been together 8 years and stuff. So I've been out of that realm. But it's
Yeah.
interesting hearing it like that now. And a little funny thing is, we'll go out. My wife, she absolutely hates when I do this, but I'll introduce her and I'll say, "Hey, everyone, this is my ex girlfriend." And then people they pause for a second. They're like, "What? Wait a second. Like, yeah, we're
Now
married
she's
now."
your
So,
wife. Yeah.
right, it's a little joking thing, but I actually love hearing that the way you're describing it because it's one of the words that I use with whenever I'm coaching with someone is boundaries,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
It is so important, but I think people are afraid because of you hit it on the nail on the head when you said they don't want to be alone,
Right.
but you're still lonely if you're in an unfulfilled relationship or whatever.
Right.
You just need to be truthful. And just a
Hmm.
little small tidbit, when I first met my wife and we started talking, I told her, and when anyone, I'm very just direct and straightforward, but I said, I will cheat with you before I cheat on you, right? Little
Ooh.
hint, right? But it was one of those things that say, "Hey, look, I've got my
Yeah.
boundaries, and we're not going to cross them. But it's that learning point." So
Yeah.
now Atlanta, I've heard, and I visit Atlanta here and there, so
Hmm.
I haven't lived there, so I don't know. But I do believe that dating in the different cities and different places is structurally hard because some places
Hmm.
they pride themselves on some things different. So
Right.
so let's take it just out of Atlanta. Let's take it in general, right?
Okay.
What do you think is a boundary that's a general thing you would say that most, and let's go ladies and then we'll go men, but most
Mhm.
ladies need to set whenever they're speaking or telling a potential suitor, hey, here's one of my boundaries that I'm setting for myself right away?
Mm. I think setting the boundary of disrespect not being accepted is going to be any form of disrespect, um, especially when you're trying to date. Because what can happen is, to me, it's disrespectful if you are dating exclusively dating someone else, but then you're trying to date me. It may not be directly disrespectful to me, but if anything, it's disrespectful to the person who is sitting here thinking that you guys are exclusive and you're not. So I feel like maybe a form of, hey, I need you to show some form of respect when it comes to whatever it is that we're trying to do here. Respect me as a person, respect my intentions, respect your intentions. I think that that's one boundary that should definitely be placed in the forefront. It's just a form of respect. Don't cross that line.
Yeah, and I think one of those things that and that just brought back a memory towards me, right?
Mhm.
Because but this was again years ago, but I've always had that boundary and that respect level that I would tell someone that I went to pick someone up for an example once, and we were going on a
Mhm.
date. I went to open up the car door for her because that's how I was raised and that's just who I was and
Yeah.
everything. And as I was doing that, she said to me, I don't need a man to do that for me. I'm independent. I don't need you to do that. I closed the car door and I told her, thank you, but we won't be going on this date. Right. And then I had people down the line say,
Right.
man, I could have been the
Oh.
one, blah, blah, blah. You did it too early. But that was my level of like, this is what I'm not going to cross.
Right.
Right. I don't mind you telling me that, but I need someone who's able to communicate with me in a different way, whereas it's
Right.
not aggressive. It's not that, we're going to fight and stuff like that. And
Right.
I also am not afraid to say that I think it's culturistic. I think
Mm.
because sometimes we have to face with our demons, right? We can't keep
Right.
running from
Yeah.
them. Look,
Yeah.
we shoot ourselves in our culture sometimes. We can't keep saying it's everyone else. If we have to face it. So
Right.
if you're talking to someone and you, let's say some ladies are here listening to you right now and they're saying, you know what, I'm ready to kind of jump into this pool. I'm ready to see some stuff
Mm-hmm.
going on. What are you saying to them? What are you saying?
Honey child,
Uh
listen,
oh,
sis.
look, you get serious
Listen,
whenever you break
sis.
it down with the honey child
Yes,
stuff.
listen, sis. Listen. We already, as Black women, have this stereotype that we are aggressive. We're
Mm,
so independent, don't need a man for anything. Honey, listen, consider a man who wants to court you, who wants to take you out and wine and dine you, your opportunity to sit that whole independence on the shelf. Take a vacation from being independent. Be soft and pink, as I call it. Embrace your femininity. Okay? We know you independent. We all independent. We got to do what we got to do in order to survive. But guess what? The guy don't have to know that. You don't have to tell him that. So, however you are right now, and I'm not saying don't be yourself, but at least get into the situation. However you are right now, if you are super aggressive, tone it down. Learn to be ladylike. Because guess what? A guy's not going to sit here and chase after a woman who comes off like she's another dude. He don't want to be laying up in the bed with another guy. Okay, so he wants someone. Men want soft and pink. Unless he tells you, I need you to be this behind closed doors, be soft and pink. Relax. Take some stress off of you. Just enjoy it. Like, and I tell myself that because I'm aggressive by nature. But I don't want to be aggressive. I don't want to have to do things for myself. I'm going to do it because it got to get done. But if there's somebody else that wants to come into the picture and take care of it and do it and open the car doors and open the restaurant doors, I will stand right there until you do so. Be a lady. That's it.
yes, yes. Raise it up, right? Raise it up. And when you hit that honey child, I was like, oh, she's about to bring it. And I'm listening, and I'm like, and again, ladies and gentlemen, if you have to listen, we are never inside of a bashing session, right? This is all about
Right.
learning, all about trying to grow. Because if we don't open the lines of communication, we're
Hmm.
never going to get to that point. And I'm going to say, gentlemen, I'm coming to the guys for this point, right? Gentlemen, you have got to learn, right? Especially when you're dealing with someone who has been through so much. Because I hate that
Mm.
that phrase when they say talking about black women about
We're
how they
angry and
angry black women, right? You don't see angry black women out here shooting up schools and doing all that stuff and blah blah blah.
hello.
So, but hey, I hate that phrase. But also at the same time, you've got to think about how I think it all stems back from how we're raised, right? Men
Hmm.
were so, and that's one of the things my wife and I work to do is raise our son differently, to say, hey,
Right.
you can't tap into your emotions. You can't. You got to. If you cry, you can't cry. Get up if you.
Right.
So then men start to grow up and say, I got to keep that facade and that armor on.
Hmm.
Where yes, women they want someone. I'm just saying. I think you can correct me or tell me some differently. They do want a guy who's tapped into his emotions. Yeah, they don't want too
Hmm.
soft. They want that.
Hmm.
You got to be able to be
The
moldable.
balance.
Yeah, you got to have that balance and be moldable. But I think for most men, they don't have it at all because they're afraid society's going to say, "Yo, if you wear pink, then nah, you can't be cool.
Yeah.
You can't be." So, gentlemen, I got to say, you got to learn how to get that balance. You've got to
Yeah.
be able to sit down, and if you're going through something with your lady, to be able to say, "Hey, babe, listen, I want to talk to you about something that happened the other day that made me feel this way, and I want to
Hmm.
see if we can work around it so it doesn't happen as often." Instead of
Hmm.
just coming at her, look, you did me wrong, and we've got to learn how to deal with that. And
Right.
I, man,
Let me add to that, right?
okay,
For the ladies, when your man comes to you and opens up and says, listen, I want to share something with you. This is how I feel. One, don't take what he tells you and uses it later to weaponize against him and throw it in
mm,
his face. Because if you do that, more than likely that man will not open up to you ever again. And two,
Yes.
sometimes you have to understand when someone is opening up to you, they're not looking for you to solve their problems. Like
Yeah.
us women, we want to help. We want to help. Sometimes just allow your man to vent because he has nobody else that he can share it to, and you want your man to be vulnerable with you. You want your man, hell, if he got to cry, baby, listen, cry on me, cry, because this is your opportunity to bond even closer with your partner. You
Yeah.
have to be able to be vulnerable, and as a woman, and vice versa, you have to be open to welcoming that vulnerability and accepting it for what it is.
Listen, but that right there, that was like one of those mind blowing kind of things. You just blow the mind, right? But it is true because it is that thing that if you do that, then that guy or women too, just men, you can't
Yeah.
use it. I I say the word mimi, so I'm gonna say I read a mimi once. So if you say
Oh,
memes, hey, I don't know what's
me.
going on with you,
Me.
but I read a mimi once where it said something, and I sent this to my wife one day, and I said, I want to know about your past so we can
Hmm.
grow, not so I can use it against you. That is
Right.
probably one of the worst things that can happen. And I don't think that people, especially in any type of culture, any type of relationship, but especially in the black culture, that we understand how words can
Mm.
hurt so much, even though we dealt with them coming up. I
Right.
remember times that, I would hear things that are said and you don't think about how that affects you as a child because we
Hmm.
don't always see that structure of love and everything together, so we
Right.
think that it's okay dealing with
Yeah.
that. And I really want to, like you said, bridge that gap of learning
Yeah.
how to communicate. And one of the things that when my wife and I first started dating, we first got together, we would do, and even to this day we still do it, we have
Mm.
check-ins, right? So we will write on a piece of paper sometimes because I'm vocal. I love to speak and talk.
Yeah.
She loves to communicate by writing, or
Right.
she finds it easier than just
Yeah.
communicating and talking. And then we'll sit down and talk, but just write a
Right.
way she wants to write. So I was like, okay, I'll adjust to that. And we
Mm.
would take a sheet of paper and we would write on 3 sheets of paper, what do you need from me? And
Mm.
then she would write down what I need from you, and I would write down what I need from you. Hey, I need more quality time. I need more words of affirmation. I need
Right.
whatever it is. But we made a goal to not take whatever's written on that paper as an attack,
Right.
right? Because she's not attacking me. She's telling me what she feels she's missing or what she
Right.
feels she's not getting enough of. And guess what? That changes. In 8 months, it
Changes
may
the
be something
whole game.
different.
Hmm.
She may be like, okay, I just need you to hold my hand when we walk through the mall or something.
That's it.
Something as simple as that. Try
And
it
it's
out,
so
ladies and
hard for
gentlemen.
people. Oh,
Try it out.
how long have you guys been doing that?
um, about 4 years, I would say now, about 3 or 4 years, and we do it maybe 3 times a year, 2 or 3 times a year, or just whenever the time needs. Right? We just,
Yeah.
hey, we check in with each other though. But we truly want our relationship to blossom, so we do
Yes.
the things we feel we need to do in order
Yeah.
to grow for that. And then we
Right.
don't take it as something. It's something as simple as, for an example, I think 2 days ago, like, was it 2 days ago? She's sitting right here from me. I took her on a date, and I said, babe, just get ready, just whatever you got on. It's not, we're not going anywhere fancy, just we're going to go through something. We went and mailed something off.
Yeah.
So it was Tuesday, no, yeah, because Monday the post office was closed, or was it Saturday, I don't know, whatever, it was recent. It was recent. And we went to the mail. It was Father's Day. She said it was Father's Day. Oh, and yes,
So
because the
that was
place was
Sunday.
closed. Yeah, because it was closed.
Hmm.
Because I went to UPS, and on UPS it said it was open, but they were closed at earlier or
And
something.
okay.
So, and I was like, okay. So then we went to just get some ice cream. That was it.
Mhm.
Nothing fancy. It was just, hey, let's just reconnect. Ice cream. You don't gotta be all fancy all the time. It could just
Right.
be. And she sat down. She's like, "Oh, thank you. You surprised me." And then, and I'm gonna let you jump in real quick. But one last quick thing too. Oh, I should have had the book, babe. Can you grab that book for me? I'm gonna show you
Look.
this book. uh, but we went to McDonald's once,
Uh-huh.
and we have this jar, and it says date night jar. We put coins in it, and
Ooh.
then whatever it is, we go turn those coins in at the coin place to get.
Like
I think
at the grocery store or
grocery store,
something, and
yeah, and it was like eight.
Coinstar.
Yeah, yeah, and it was like
Yeah.
$18 or something. Thanks, babe. And then that was our whatever that is. That was what we used for date. $18. We went to
I
McDonald's, and in the
love
middle of
it.
the middle of McDonald's, we got up. Or I grabbed her hand, stood up in the middle of McDonald's, and started dancing. And then everyone around us looking and everything. But I was like, I don't care what anyone else thinks around me. If you smiling, I'm smiling. We blossom like that. And here, really quick, let me show you how we kind of come up with those ideas. Because I know some people are like, how do you do that? I can't think of all that ideas. I don't either
Ah,
all of the time. But so I have this book here, and it's called The
the
Adventure
Adventure Challenge.
Challenge. Okay. And this is
All
for
right, okay.
couples. You can go online. I don't have any affiliation with them, ladies and gentlemen. If you're watching this, I don't get any money from this, but this book has been really great. And we need to get back on it because the pandemic slowed us down. But I'm going to show you what's inside here. And I see that we got some people in here. Again, throw some comments in here, ladies and gentlemen. If you got any questions, I'll put the link to this in there as well. And then we're going to send you a link out. But what this does is inside of here, you it has
It's
you
like a scrapbook.
yes. And what happens is these are blank. You have to scratch it off. And then it tells you what to do. And it tells you, so it's like this is going to be between $5 and $10, it says. And one of them we had to go to the dollar store, buy some things in the dollar store, and then go make sandwiches and do a picnic, for an example. And then it gives you a picnic basket. She said we had to buy a picnic basket, and then we have to take a picture of it, put it inside here, and then write a little note about that date, what we did on that date. And then we had to one another one is we had to do cooking, and one person has to be blindfolded, and then you hold their hands and help them cook
Oh
and
my
do all kind of stuff. But
God.
anyways, this has hundreds of ideas for anyone who says I don't know what to do, right? You need to connect with your partner. That's what you need to do. Remember what brought you to the fall in love or whatever. So anyways, that's a
I
little
love
thing
that.
that we
I'm gonna
do.
get that book. Damn it, damn it.
it
I'm
is
gonna
it
get
is
that book and
great.
I'm gonna hold on to it until I
It's
get a man,
great.
and
Yeah,
then we're gonna do it.
it absolutely, like the latest one we did is we had to do bowling, but put the bumpers up, and whoever got the lowest score won, and then you can do it like a bet and blah 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 and all that stuff.
Oh my
So
goodness. I
yeah,
love it.
yeah. But
That's
what are some
amazing.
what are some tips you're gonna throw out there for some people who you trying to tell them, say, hey, look, you need to do this, that, or the other, get it going.
Okay. Okay. So, ladies, when you go out, first of all, if you go out, do not go out in a large group. Okay, stick to like two, like you and somebody, you and the sister. And the reason for that is because, from what I've learned, men could be intimidated by large number of women, a whole pack of women. And I don't blame them because listen, if I see a whole bunch of women, I'm gonna probably think that all of them are all of a sudden thirsty. Now I got to buy everybody a drink just to get to the one that I want. So keep your numbers low. Go to when you go out to eat. Go to the bar. Sit at the bar. You don't want to get a table over there by the way. Sit at the bar because guess what? Guys come to the bar. So this is your opportunity to actually strike up a conversation. Don't be afraid to strike up a conversation. It's okay to take the initiative, okay? We know guys have been chasing us from stone years. Guess what? I'm sure they're tired. So you actually step up to the plate and take the initiative and start a conversation. And it can be something as simple as, oh my God, those are some nice shoes. Where did you get those clothes from? Or is that oil or is that cologne? That smells so good. Where did you get that from? Simple. Boom. Open the door. If you see a guy who's across the bar from you, it's okay to smile because guess what? When you smile, that opens the door too. That gives them an inviting feeling or an impression that you're inviting them because you're smiling. They're so used to us looking like we don't want anyone to come up to us that it's okay to be nice. It's okay. Now, because we are inviting, if for whatever reason it just doesn't work, it's okay to, tell them, well, it was nice talking to you. That's a nice way of saying bye. If you're not interested, don't take the drink. That's my opinion. If you're not interested, if you know off the rip that you're not attracted to them and chances of this going anywhere is slim to none, don't take the drink. People work way too hard for their money. Fellas, if she says no or she's not interested, then that's just what it is. You don't have to sit there and convince her. You are just as valuable as she is. And fellas, I need you to understand that you too hold value. Okay? So it's not always about you chasing. I'm sure you guys would feel good if someone chased after you. Most importantly, learn to be okay being transparent, living your truth. However you are, that's how you are. Point blank, plain and simple, right? Um, I feel like if you allow yourself to be vulnerable, if you allow yourself to, not hold skeletons in your closet, not be afraid of what people think about you, but be authentically you, you'll be more carefree in this world where you'll start making better decisions based off of your own happiness and not what you think other people expect of you. um Let me see what else is there. I would say try more organic dating than online dating. I feel like online dating is, oh, this is gonna sound bad, but online dating sometimes is for the lazy. It's for the people who, it's just convenient in between my job or going to the gym to talk to somebody. It's just a convenience thing. Get back to going out and about in the world and exploring and get that book. I don't even have the book. I don't even have a man, but I'm gonna get that book.
Yes, and you was I just found. You may not be able to see it, but right here, I just found the picture. That's the picture of us in
Ah,
McDonald's. Right there, we took that picture right
oh my
there, and she wrote in the book, and she's like, because what this one was, it was called the pawn shop, right? And we had to find something cheap in the house to take to the pawn shop, pawn it, and whatever money we got for it, that's what we
with the date.
used to do the date. And so this was 2019. Was that right before pandemic? And she says, we
Yeah,
didn't find anything cheap to take to the pawn shop, but we cashed our date night money thing that we had. I told you, so we used that.
yeah, the coins.
And yeah, and she says, and it had $47. Look at that. It was more. She's with, but
Damn.
went on the best lunch date so far. McDonald's loved every minute of it. Guys, you
Oh my
don't gotta be. I'm
gosh.
telling you, you think you gotta be all of this and that to take to the lady's heart, but that
Well,
right there. So yeah. And then they got a couples one that get a little frisky, but this is for general public, PG-13
I'm gonna get that
kind of
one
a thing
too,
here. So,
even if
so,
it's with myself.
but yeah, I absolutely agree with you. And I'm gonna tell you, one thing that I said, and I did an episode on this earlier, well, a while ago. The power of the word no. When you get comfortable enough to say no without feeling that you need to justify things, right? Hey, can you take me to the gas station? No, because I have to. Now you got to make up something, and that might
Yeah,
be true, might not be a lie, whatever. But no,
no,
I just don't
it's a
want
whole
to.
sentence.
Right. You don't have to explain. That's in work, that's in life, that's in relationship. You don't have to justify everything to everyone, right? And it's kind of like you were saying, but gentlemen,
Mhm.
and the reason why I say that is because if someone tells you no, that's what it is. You got to learn that. I hate when I hear guys, hey girl, and they don't approach them correctly anyways, whistling, cat whistling. And if she tells
Mhm.
you no, and all of a sudden she's this and she's that, and she's,
Oh,
come on, guys. She wasn't that a
yeah.
second ago when you wanted to holler at her. Come on,
Mhm.
be okay being at a bar or someplace that you say, and she's like, hey, thank you, but I don't want to take it any further. Okay, hey, I
Mhm.
appreciate that. Hey, if I see you around again,
Thank you
maybe
for
we
the
can just talk
time.
again. Yeah, right. Like, get over it, man. I just, but I really think the strength of the core of growing in that relationship is is understanding, right? You got to understand
Mhm.
yourself first. You got to understand what you want. If
Right.
you don't know what you want and what you're looking for and what your boundaries are, you gotta get past it. So
Mhm.
that's my little 3 cents on that. There. What any other little tidbits you want to throw out there? Oh, you know what? I want to ask you. What are some
Yes.
of the answers you got from the friend zone thing? That kind of leads
Oh
right into it.
man. Oh.
Ooh.
Okay, so I posted it on TikTok, I posted it on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and a lot of people were like, if they have someone that's their friend, they do not want to damage that friendship by stepping over the lane into being intimate with one another.
Sure.
Like I'm going to say 95% of people who answered, that was the overall responses. They don't want to mess up the friendship.
Hmm.
Um, Funny thing,
Okay.
being transparent. I have a homie. I have a homie. I've known him since like 2016. And he's a really, really good friend. Like I can talk to him about any and everything, guys, dating, and he keeps it real with me. So recently, when I say recently, I mean like Sunday, I was like, we were talking and somehow the conversation got sexual. So I was like, listen, I was like, how big is your penis? And he sent me a picture, and I was like, oh. So it went left, but it was like I felt like a little kid, like, oh my gosh. And then we
Yeah.
started talking sexual, and then it was just like now we're at a point trying to decide, are we going to cross that bridge? And the unanimous decision that we both came to was we don't want to mess up that friendship. Like
Hmm.
regardless of how good we both predict it could be, we value each other way too much to cross that lane. So it'll just always be something where, okay, we've seen each other's private parts, but that's it.
Yeah.
Like I value you more enough to not be intimate with you. And that's strong. That's
Yeah.
really strong. Oh my God.
Yeah, and I absolutely love that because from even just from hearing that, the one thing I gather from that is the transparency and the openness, right? I
Yeah.
believe that if you can just be open with people, you give
Hmm.
them the option of saying, "I accept that. I want to continue with it." Instead of trying to trick them, because now that can
Right.
really take things way past that, and I don't think people do that enough, right? Like if let's say for an example, one of the things I hear often from guys when I talk to them is that they
Hmm.
feel that women will try to put the family life on them so quickly. Like I'm looking
Mm.
for, especially if they maybe have kids or something, I'm looking for someone
Right.
who could be the stepdad, or can you
The
do that?
father
And they're
figure.
like, yo, wait a second, we just went out on 3 dates, like hold on, right? Like now that may be your ultimate goal, but that could be something that you need to learn how to see, because I will hear, well, I just keep finding the wrong type of guys. Well, then maybe you're looking in the wrong type of
It's
place, or
you.
you're accepting of the type of people that you're bringing, right?
Yeah.
Then that's
You're
that's what you.
attracting. You're throwing some type of energy out there that's calling those people in.
Yes, and it's something that you can't be afraid to be alone, if because even if you're in a relationship and it's not what you want, then you're still alone, right? You
Yeah.
got to learn to love you and be who you are, and
Right.
tell them, this is my boundary. I will not allow you to speak to me that manner. You will
Mhm.
not call me that. If you call me a name like that, goodbye.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
need someone
It's
who's, if you're frustrated, you're mad, great. We all get that way. But I need someone to say, hey, let's work this out and find a way to work past it. And oh,
right.
one thing in an argument, men, women, listen to this and please tell me your thoughts on this. Okay.
Okay.
Because in an argument, there's usually one person who wants to speak and get out what's happening. Then there's someone who wants to say, "Hey, look, I just want to chill for a second.
Mhm.
Let me take some time." Now, I do this. I'm the person I want to think about it, but I
Mhm.
approach my partner if they want to, speak about it at that moment to validate their feelings. Hey,
Mhm.
I understand that you really want to speak about this at the moment, and I promise you that we will. I just need a
Mhm.
few moments to cool down to get my thoughts together, and let's talk about this subject later tonight. which then
Mhm.
tells them that I'm not blowing you off, right? I want to
Exactly.
talk about this is important to me, but I need to talk to you about it when I'm clear minded instead of just walking out the door, instead of just saying, you know what,
Right.
whatever, or turning around and yelling. That's how we learn to communicate and
Ooh.
get better. What do you think about that?
I am identical to you because I'm not. Ooh. Now back in the days, I tell you a piece of my mind. Look,
It
I
comes with
will try to
age,
hurt
yes.
your feelings. Okay, I am looking to hurt your feelings. If you want to go there, oh, you don't want this smoke. But now I've just gotten to the point. I love my peace. I love my zen. I want
Mm,
my relationship to be like that. I'm also realistic, and I know you're not always going to see eye to eye in a relationship. So when there is a disagreement, I need for us, yes, to validate the fact that's right, little baby. Yes.
get your
I need
peace.
for us to understand, come to an understanding and an agreement that right now might not be the best time to have this discussion because
Mhm.
you feel some type of way, I feel some type of way. We're not on the same page, so let's come back to this later.
Yeah,
Now, I'm gonna let you know that's my intention. Now, if you want to keep yelling, I'm going to turn around and I'm going to walk out
mm,
because I'd rather leave the environment, leave that hostility in that area, and go somewhere where I can numb your horenge cure, okay? Like, I can get back to a stable mind
yeah,
because the last thing that I want is to be triggered. And because I know me and I know my limits, once I'm triggered, it's hard to get back. And
yeah,
in relationships, when you have that argument, it's hard to get things back to how it was before. So
yeah,
I'm with you 1,000%.
yeah. I definitely can see that, and you have to learn each other, right? You have to learn each other's triggers, like you said, the traits and stuff.
Hmm.
And one of the things, and again, like you said, if you had caught me back in my early days, 20s, and whatever, different story,
Baby.
But one of the things that my wife, when we first got together and everything, she was like perplexed. She's like, "Why do you?" When we would sit down and talk, and she wants to tell me something, she's like, "What do you have?" And I would always get a piece of paper and a pen. And as
Yeah.
she was speaking to me, I would write things down. And it was
Yeah.
because I showed her, after a while, I told her, I said, I value what you're saying. And I want to rebuttal, and I want to come back and speak on what's frustrating you, but I don't want to interrupt you while you're doing it. So I'm writing it down so that when you're done, I'm like, okay, hey, now you said this, and I want to, and this is why I do it, or here's what it is. Because most people, they aren't listening; they just are waiting for their turn to jump in.
To react. Yeah.
Right. But
Yeah.
I'm showing you that what you're saying to me is very important. So I'm writing it
Hmm.
down. I'm not ignoring you. I'm writing down what you said. Oh, you said that
Hmm.
I left my socks on the floor or something like that. Okay, cool. Hey, you said this a little because you're going to go on for maybe 5 minutes and I'm not going to remember everything. All I'm going to do is pick up one
Hmm.
thing that you said and I'm like, you said this. And no, you said four important things that I want to touch back on. Right. So we've
Yeah.
got to learn to communicate. And I know that you were saying earlier, because I know I don't want to keep you because you got some things going on. But
Yeah. I got a show
tell
coming up.
yes, tell everyone about your podcast, where they can find you, the He Said Network, what's going on there. Let them know how they can find you, and
RG says, shout out to RG in the chat. RG says Kamora definitely knows Russell's triggers. Yes. So once again, my name is Simply Bree. You guys can follow me all across social media under Simply Bree. I have a show coming up at 8 o'clock. It's the He Said What show. And on that show, myself, RG, who's in the chat, and Ezel, we tackle different topics, like I said, that is geared towards bridging the gap in communication between men and women. And today's topic actually is normalizing saying no in the fight against men and up. And this month of June is all about men's mental health awareness. So this is all about men. I won't do too much talking because it's about them and getting out, their emotions and just their thoughts and feelings. He Said What Network. You guys can check us out online on YouTube. He Said What Network is the channel. We open our arms to everyone who wants to be a guest, regardless of whatever it is that you got going on. We have a spirituality show, a sports show. We have a finance and credit awareness show. We have a relationship and black culture show. We have a creative art show, and we have a philanthropy show. So there's something for everyone. For more information, go to he said what network.com to check out the shows and register to be a guest. And it was something, Lion, that I wanted to mention, and it slipped my mind, but I will definitely be back. You guys have not seen the last of me, and you will see Lion on my network as well, as a guest co-host, whatever we can do to get him on. So yeah, I absolutely love it, and I am once again so appreciative of being a guest up here. This is awesome.
Thank you, thank you. I think that's a big win. Big win.
Yes,
Ooh,
yes.
yes, thank you so
Woo-hoo.
very much for coming on. And make sure, ladies and gentlemen, if you're here and you're watching this, if you don't see it now, go check out the He Said,
Yes,
I'm gonna do it like this. He said, what?
yes.
I'm gonna
That's
break it
awesome.
down like that, right? So hey, we're all about
Yes.
supporting each other. There's no crab in the bucket mentality here. There's enough for everyone to
No.
go around. I don't care if we say the same exact thing and you don't register with me. Someone else says it's softer. As long as you get the information and it helps you out, that's
That's
all
it.
I care about. So, hey, thank you so very much. I'm going to go ahead and end the show. I want you to hang on for 1 second so I can
Yes.
just get some
Yes.
information to you. But thank you so
Okay.
very much, and I'll be right to you in
Thank
one
you.
moment. Okay, great.
Alrighty.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for coming here and listening to another episode of Black Love. I appreciate it. Hey, keep it going. And remember, like I always tell you, keep living while you are alive. There we go. We are